Well, I thought I'd make a little bit of a different video, one that just doesn't have music in it, and do some commentary and just give you an idea of what's going through my mind as I'm taking a tree down like this one, and just what's the process, what do I do, and how do I do it. And thought it might be interesting to some people, and to others it might be something pretty boring, but hope you enjoy.
Got our line out to a tree. That is pretty much that tree.
Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
It's a little old school, but I use a 2-on-1 to shimmy up a tree so I don't have to take limbs up. It's a quick way to get to the top if you don't want to take limbs, and I mean, you always got to take that limb or two when you're going up to weave through it, but I would recommend a 2-in-1 for anyone that's looking to get to the top of a tree that doesn't have the new age equipment. So I got up in the top of this thing, and about 3/4 of the way up, tying them both together with a running bowline, which when I pull on it, it'll suck them together and give me some leverage while we're pulling it over, but I'll be taking it over with the wedges, and this will be just my safety with a pick.
I've been first and last. Look at how the time goes past. But I'm all alone at last, rolling home to you. Oh man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. Oh, one look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Oh man, look at my life.
You never thought that it'd bring that together.
I came down about halfway down the tree and threw a come along together in it because I was a little concerned about how it was fused down at the bottom. I didn't know how far that crack was going down and what I was going to get into when I faced it out, so I put a come along in it just to keep it together while it went on over, which surprisingly enough it didn't break in half when it hit the ground. I was surprised, but it was a pretty solid tree, big tree. A big tree.
That's enough.
Love lost such a cost. Give me
That thing's got a
things that
back.
don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling home to you. Oh man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. Oh, one look in my eyes and you can tell that's true.
I went back and found a pretty good oak tree and just putting a block in it here so I can run a rope, which I spliced with another rope and got back and we hooked that up to the pickup for our pulling power and got all the rigging set up, and then ran out of time and had to come back the next day, which unfortunately was blowing a lot harder the next day, but we went for it anyways, but just getting the block set up right.
I'll go like this, and that means for you to back up. The only direction we're going to go, if I go like this, that means a little more, a little more. When I go like this, that means you start backing up. When I go like that, that means you start backing up, but just go nice and slow, like this, okay? I'm going to face it out. You won't have to do anything right now, but you can go ahead and start it up.
I have a rope in this tree, and the reason of that is just for extra insurance. You'll see me setting wedges, and that's how I'm lifting this tree and putting it over. I lift the tree with the wedges, and sometimes, I did a couple times on this tree, I used the truck to give me a little bit of help to sink the wedges in a little bit farther because they came up tight a couple times. But I don't pull the tree solely on a rope, for the reasoning that if there is a rigging failure and I don't have any wedges set up in the gap and something breaks, snaps, comes loose, whatever it is, if that rigging fails, that tree is coming back and something bad is going to happen when it comes back and it sits down. It's either going to snap off, most likely it's just going to snap off, and that's just game over. So my 2 cents is whenever you're pulling a tree over, it's always good. Just set some wedges in there. Doesn't mean that you have to do it like I'm doing it by any means. Do it however you want, but put some wedges underneath there just to make it to where if you are pulling solely with your rope, if something does happen, you have a plan B, and that's my 2 cents.
Took my first breath where the muddy rises, spills into the Gulf of Mexico. The skyline's colored by chemical plants that put bread on the table of the working man, where the working man does his best to provide safety and shelter for kids and a wife, giving a little of a soul every day, making overtime.
sure take a ship spilling poison in the Galveston Bay, where the liquid fire filled his lungs and his eyes.
When setting wedges, you'll see right when I cut into the tree, I immediately try to set a wedge, because this thing is sitting back really hard, and I have a pretty good wind coming, about 18-mile-an-hour wind coming at my face, which is blowing the tree back. So I'm trying to set a wedge in as soon as possible before I take out any wood where that tree really sets back on me. So I'm trying to get that wedge set in and lift in the tree before I take out too much wood and it sits back on me, and then you're really in a pickle when the tree sits back to try to get a wedge set in there. And then the way this tree is set up, you can see where it comes down. It's a school marm, co-dominant, whatever you want to call it. It's a nasty tree. And I'm setting wedges all the way down on the other side, on the low side, and all the way through the back, just for support. And also to really give me some driving force to get this thing to start to lift up. I have that pickup, like I said, back there. He helps me out a couple times when I've come up a little tight on these, where they've all smacked pretty hard, and I have him give me a little tug to where I can then get a little bit more purchase on that tree.
As a dog, but it made recovery just to spite the odds. The settlement came and we moved out of town, where the sky isn't heavy with refinery clouds. Yeah, he's still alive, he's doing good, he's in his 50s, but the money's running out. He's pains and forgiveness, he's going for broke with every song I play, 'cause now it's my turn to keep the wolves away.
You'll hear my little fallen axe here. When it comes up on a wedge, you'll hear it snap. You won't hear a hollow pop, you'll just hear it snap. And that means that that wedge, no matter how hard you hit it, it is not going to go any farther in. It's either going to start busting out the bottom, or it's just going to start bouncing back, eating out the head. It can do a couple things, but it's not going to lift that tree anymore. And so you'll see me working across here, back and forth, just getting these things to take a 1/16 and 1/8 at a time until I can get a double stack in there.
Took my first breath where the muddy rises, spills into the Gulf Mexico, the skyline's colored by chemical plants that put bread on the table of the working man, where the working man does his best to provide safety and shelter for kids and a wife, giving a little of his soul every day, making overtime to keep the wolves away.
Now you'll see me working these wedges. I'm getting pretty aggressive with it. I'm not waiting in between hits. A lot of guys, they'll hit that wedge and let that wedge take its force, and the top will move back and forth, and they'll wait for that top to wiggle before they'll smack it again. That's a good idea. I'm just going to town here. We're trying to get this thing on the ground, not by any means of going fast and smart, but it's starting to lift pretty good, and so I'm starting to just work the wedges.
Cries, cold in the grave, with death stinging pain, he fought like hell to keep the wolves away. For the next few years, Dad was sick as a dog, but he made a recovery just to spite the odds. The settlement came and we moved out of town, where the sky isn't heavy with refinery clouds. Yeah, he's still alive, he's doing good, he's in his 50s, but the money's running out, and he's painting for pennies. So I'm going for broke with every song I play, 'cause now it's my turn to keep the wolves away.
A trick I've learned with double stacking wedges is to get some sawdust in between them, and that can help them stick together. You'll see me do that here, is just grab a little bit of sawdust on the ground, and it'll help them wedges stick together so they won't separate out when you're smacking them in. I was pretty bummed. I thought I had my GoPro set up a lot better and I missed the tree coming down, but we were all excited because it was a really tight fit in between the shed and some trees that he had that he wanted to save, and we put it right through the center of them, and it was pretty fun to be able to do that, to really thread a needle, and customer was pretty happy, and it was a fun tree to do. I hope you enjoyed.
Bullseye! Woo! Oh man, that wind died on us right when we were doing it too. That was perfect. Watch out for this tree. I'm going to cut this thing out of here. Satisfied? I don't think I could have threaded the needle any better. Didn't even get the ladder. That was my fault. Oh, look at that. Oh, almost got the fence. It was right on. Oh. It was a little longer than I thought, but we had about a foot for the fence. You ever seen those ladder videos on YouTube? There might be another one. They are. I doubt that they're fun to be a part of, though.